All right, good morning, everybody. All right, ugly day yesterday. Depends on what you read. It's just baffling to me what sides they decide to take here. Not a lot of expectations. I think some of this stemmed from not a lot of expectations of any real deal to come out of the U.S.-China discussions, but also not seeing that the discussions have been negative. So it's just hard to understand. I guess I'm surprised that they were expecting some real framework of a deal to come from this, and that's part of this. So maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Also, some of the E15 stuff, some negativity from the soy board, thinking it would take away from soybeans more than it would benefit corn, and so that sent some negativity into the marketplace. Which again, though, I'm not seeing the E15 mandates off the table. It's just a little bit of negativity. So that stemmed with the technical stuff that we discussed yesterday. I guess led to the day that we had. But anyway, we'll get back to the technical part because I think that's probably a bigger piece. The seasonal part, the forecast coming up, looks pretty good right now. So I think that's all a part of it as well. But again, yesterday, here's D's corn. We're down 2.5 at 488 3/4 currently. It was just like we discussed. I mean, we poked out that high, and I said if you have a negative day, we're going to be in trouble. And anytime you're waiting for a negative day, you run the risk of that negative day being a day like yesterday. So down 11 3/4. It was almost immediately that way. Tried to bounce it last night. Did get back above the 5-day. Got to 496 3/4, but then found selling there as well. So it just looks like we're in the midst of a little bit more of a significant downtrend. I wouldn't imagine it's going to be done today. My best guess is that you're going to need to come down to this trend line. Again, I do still feel like it's very plausible that this thing stays somewhat supported. So I would be surprised to take this trend line out on a closing basis. I think that will hold up here. Depends on when you get there, right? So if you run this up, you're at today you'd be just below 480. As you go further down the line, probably the low 480s is the most likely scenario of where you would find this bottom. Worst case scenario, I think in the short term, is that you come down to try to retest these lows, but I just think that's probably a little too much with the situation we're in today with the stocks to use that we have and just the nerves that there should be around weather in the west, the heat that's supposed to still come. But again, maybe El Nino and the existence of that coming later on is driving a lot of this too. So if that doesn't come on time, there's still just a lot of time left here. But this is certainly a big enough move the other day that you should expect some extended downside. I just expect it to hold up somewhere in that around that trend line. We're at the 50 mark on the RSI, so it's possible that you could find some support here and try to turn this back around. I just doubt it with as much negativity as we saw yesterday. Best guess is that you're going to work down towards closer to oversold and then see what the weather's like during that time. Big separation here, suggesting lingering downside momentum next 1 to 3 days. Doesn't have to be, but that's what it's suggesting, and that is a huge gap right now. If we are going to try to push this back up, resistance will just be the overnight high of 496 3/4, or any type of action up towards the 5-day, which is at 493 7/8. Let's take a look at soybeans. Same story, really. Just what I discussed. Currently they're down 5 at 1178.5. This was bothering me, right? I did think that the price action overall post-report was good and should probably win for the short term, but I did mention that this is never a good sign where you see this divergence, and any negative day should be respected. Just so happened that negative day was down 24.25. So that's the risk that you run, just like I said yesterday. So currently now it looks like we're in an extended downtrend. This could go even deeper than corn. I mean, I would guess though it should hold up in the low 1160s is kind of the place that I would think we should try to maintain here. So maybe somewhere around the 50-day here, this purple line is at 1160 3/8 right now. That's very possible. Huge volume day yesterday. So short-term support will be yesterday's low of 1173. resistance will be the 5-day. We poked just above it last night, so the overnight high was 11.91 3/4. The 5-day is currently up at 11.88 1/8. Huge separation here, just about to the 50 mark. So kind of looks very similar to what corn does currently. Let's take a look at the weekly real quick. So it's possible, this is obviously with old crop. That would be a big drop to come down to that. Don't expect that, but that's the kind of stuff that we're dealing with right now. You wouldn't want to see the market move below this 1140. It's a long ways off right now. Still not through or through the growing season or that time frame, so I don't think I'm too worried about that just yet. But probably looking somewhere in the low 1160s, like I mentioned. Possible you'd want to come down and retest this area here at new crop around 1140, but that would be pretty ugly in the short term. So anyway, watch the price action today. I'd guess for continued downside here for the next few days. I just think that action yesterday was too much to try to just flip this thing back on its head. So anyway, we'll watch the price action, see if we can hold up those levels mentioned. Have a great day.